Balatro is a game where you play various poker hands in order to score the chip minimum each round. In order to have the best chance of scoring enough chips, you can discard cards in your hand to draw new ones and form the best poker hands possible. Discards make up half of the actions you can take during a round, making them essential to win. However, could you beat a game of Balatro on its hardest difficulty without using any discards? To make the challenge even harder, I'll be using the red deck, which provides an additional discard each round that I cannot use. I started with a few attempts that didn't particularly go far, as I drew some good jokers but would get unlucky when it counted. However, as Balatro is partly a game of luck, it was only a matter of time until I had a lucky run. To start off this run, I skipped the small blind for an Arcana pack, giving me 2 upgrades to my hard card hand. Then I skipped the big blind for a polychrome joker in the next shop and went into the boss blind, where I was able to squeeze out a win on my last hand. When I went into the shop, I found that my polychrome joker hit on an eternal drunkard joker. The polychrome provides a 1.5 multiplier to my flat mult, which is really good to have on any joker, but it landed on a joker that would give me an additional discard. I can't use those! On top of that, it had an eternal tag, making it so I couldn't sell it for the rest of the run. Basically, taking up a joker slot permanently just for a 1.5 multiplier. Even though it was free, I decided to instead open up a buffoon pack and grabbed Riffraff, a joker that will give me 2 more jokers when I go into the next round, and went on my way. I then skipped the small blind again to get $25 after I beat the boss blind and went into the big blind. This is where Riffraff showed its value, giving me an ice cream joker, providing me with a solid source of chips, and a holographic Willy joker, which would give me plus 10 mult each hand. With these 2 jokers, I was able to beat the round in one hand. I upgraded my high card again in the shop, and went into the boss blind getting 2 more common jokers helping me beat it in one hand. I got another upgrade to my high card, and got another half joker providing me with an additional 20 mult when my played hand has less than 3 cards. With this setup, I was cruising for the next few rounds. I picked up a fortune teller to help me potentially build mult for the long term, and got a banner joker to give me a solid source of chips for the rest of the game, and finally making the discards kinda useful. I had solid sources of chips and flat mult. The only thing that I would be missing would be something to exponentially multiply my flat mult. That's when I encountered the ramen joker. It would straight up give me 2 times multiplier and would only lower if I discard any cards, but as I was not allowed to do that, it would be a 2 times multiplier for the rest of the game. I replaced the banner joker with a blue joker as it would give me slightly more chips and continue shredding through the rounds until I reached this shop. I had a decision to make. I found a ceremonial dagger in the shop. It would eat up a joker each round, increasing the amount of mult it produced. If I were to take it, I would replace the 2 current jokers that gave me flat mult. I'd already built up the fortune teller a good amount, and I don't know if I will be able to build up the ceremonial dagger enough. I wouldn't be able to go back on this decision as I had the eternal tag, but the antes would keep getting harder, so I needed to take the chance to make sure I could keep up. I took the ceremonial dagger and found a blackboard joker. It would give me a nearly guaranteed times 3 mult multiplier, as I could easily make sure I only had clubs and spades in my hand. Now the team was coming together. I just needed to make sure to build up the ceremonial dagger and I could win. I kept on feeding it all the way to ante 7, where I found the special pack. I opened it and got a pretty good opportunity with the Ankh card. It could copy one of my jokers and destroy the rest. However, 2 of my jokers could not be destroyed. They had the eternal tag, so if the ramen card got duplicated, I would be sitting pretty for the final ante. I sold my blue joker to increase my odds and popped the Ankh. I got it! I have duplicated the ramen and could hopefully make it to the final boss blind. I picked up the director's cut voucher as it might be good to reroll a bad final boss, and kept on feeding my ceremonial dagger. When approaching the final round, I realized I would be able to beat it, but I would have to play all my hands to do so, as I got 100,000 chips per hand, had access to play 4 hands, and the boss blind minimum was 400,000 chips. The issue was the boss blind itself. The amber acorn would flip and shuffle all my jokers, and if my jokers were out of order for even a single hand, I would be unable to meet the chip minimum. Gladly, I had planned for this, I could reroll it. So I made all my preparations in my final shop and went out to meet the boss blind. There was only one other boss blind that could ruin my run, but the odds of pulling it were slow. The reroll would nearly guarantee my victory. So I rerolled and... fuck! The Violet Vessel turned the chip minimum into over 1 million. I had lost. I got many strokes of luck in this run, but on the final steps, I stumbled. After that loss, I was broken. I had come so close to finishing this challenge after hours worth of attempts. I found myself facing loss after loss after loss after loss in my following attempts. But it was only a matter of time until I got lucky with another shot at beating this challenge. In this run, I got an early blue joker which would take care of the black chips for the rest of the run, and got 3 jokers that would allow me to coast for the foreseeable future, giving me the chance to build another promising synergy. This is when I encountered a holographic red card. This joker got a +3 flat mold for each booster pack skipped. I never really tried to build it up in the past as it can be expensive opening up many booster packs and it can be painful to do so without reaping any of the rewards from them. However, with enough money, I could turn it into a formidable source of molds. After beating a few more rounds, I found a joker that had taken me inches from victory hours ago, the blackboard. I picked it up again and now had a formidable set of jokers. I felt unstoppable as I breezed through the rounds. And my power high wouldn't stop as I found the card sharp joker. This joker would give me a 3 times multiplier whenever I played in my hand if I had played the hand before in the round. As I was mainly playing high cards, I could nearly guarantee that this joker would go off on 3 of my hands. I cruised through a few more rounds, and as I was on a trend of reuniting with the old jokers that took me far, I once again found the ramen joker. Perfect. This might be able to take me all the way to the finish line. And as a cherry on top, a few shops later I found a voucher that gave me an additional hand each round. When I reached the 8th ante, I was faced with a familiar obstacle, the Amber Acorn. My current joker lineup was once again reliant on its order, but this time I wouldn't avoid the challenge of the boss fight. Whenever you play a hand, the flipped jokers will still mark what it provides to the final score. If I observed it closely, I could figure out which joker was which. I slowed down my game and prepared to play the first hand. Here's where I have to lock in. I'ma play this, and then I'ma carefully analyze these 5 and try to figure out which is which. Okay, play. Times 2 mult. Plus 10. 81. 88. Times 3. 50. Okay. Times 2 more. 88. Okay. Times 2 mult. I think this order's good. I figured it out. It was as if I could clearly see what each joker was. I think this order's good. Please work. 84 plus 10 plus 81 times 2 times 3 times 3. Yes! Yes! I think this is it. Another high card. And we're good. Let it go on slowly. Bow. 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 Okay, we did it. Okay, oh. With that, I beat Balatro on Gold Stake difficulty on the red deck without using a single discard. I hope you enjoyed. Bye.